두려워할 필요 없어 지친 어깨 다 감싸줄게 내 마음 깊고 푸른 바다야 빠져들어 sweet me 쿵쿵 내 heartbeat higher feeling 어때 네 맘 난 너무너무 신나 boom boom pop 뭔가 특별해진 pick me baby 찌릿찌릿한 기분 내 손을 놓지 마 우리 고민은 잠시 내려놔 일곱빛 색깔로 세상을 물들여 새롭게 피어나 열려도 예상치 못했던 미래도 웃음을 잃지 않아 떠나자 pick me 끊이지 않는 웃음소리가 하하하 밝은 빛이 따라 걷는 길 pick me 또 내 심장은 더 뛰는 걸 하늘 높이 올라가 달리기 멈춰 잠시만 쉬어 오렌지빛 아래 두 손 꼭 잡고 흰 바람은 살랑이는 내 맘은 피어올라도 크게 떠나자 pick me 끊이지 않는 웃음소리가 하하하 밝은 빛이 따라 걷는 길 pick me 또 내 심장이 또 뛰는 걸 하늘 높이 올라가 두근두근두근 반짝반짝 빛나 잠시 쉬어가자 힘들지 않은 걸 네가 있으니까 소리 크게 질러봐 우리 함께 즐겨 피크닉
Good evening and welcome to Ben has actually turned the microphone on before he started this week. Still hasn't got the other laptop booted for IRC mine, so there'll still be a little bit of a delay for that. So, where are we in this slightly surprising because there are no Rusty Elves issue of Crusader Kings 2? Answer just was the largest contributor to a crusade, largely by having strategically invaded the target before the crusade started, because she had her own reasons for wanting to take it on. This meant that she is now... Oh, she's now embarrassingly rich. Am I being too loud? Let's turn that setting down a bit. Yeah, because I should be peaking there, shouldn't I? That's probably a bit better. Yell if it's still terrible. Yes, I've just won this crusade and have far too much money. And so I'm going to need to find things to spend it on. In addition to far too much money, I have an independence faction that's looking a little bit worrying. But it probably doesn't have the commanders to take me properly.
So you have lots of money, so frankly you can just hire all the mercenaries in the world ever.
Yeah, if I have to squash that faction, I can. Yes, so you can see the Najdid Sultanate is actually broadly in three pieces. There's the bit in Persia, which I have been slowly pushing out of Arabia. And there's the bit up here in what is now Ukraine. I have no idea what it was then. And in particular, this bit, Wallachia, was theirs until the Crusade. The Crusade was for Wallachia. Possibly, yes.
In that case, some of Ukraine would probably be Poland. Historically, vaguely historically. And I am very vague on this. This is not my time period and not my geography.
Yes. So Wallachia is now ruled by Queen Clara, the Sword of God, whom I nominated as the Crusade beneficiary because I thought a genius with, well, she didn't have 26 martial when I nominated her, but she does now, and 17 diplomacy would probably be a pretty good candidate. But I did not switch to playing as her because I still haven't managed to create the Empire of Outremer, which is what I'm trying to achieve out here. So yes, that was a successful crusade up here, but I was simultaneously taking the Duchy of Basra off the Najdids. So I'd already stomped into several of their counties down here, including their capital, before the crusade even started. Indeed, I didn't actually get to go to the crusade target itself because it was so far away and I was rather busy. And by the time I remembered I ought to do this and sent an army off that way, the crusade had more or less finished.
So how do you manage to get your candles installed if you weren't
Because I was the biggest contributor to the war score of the crusade. Which you can do by, for instance, invading the target's capital and another entire duchy nearby.
Right, you were invading Najdi, just not the Najdi at the target.
Yes, so I didn't get the Crusader trait, and none of my commanders got the Crusader trait, sadly. But I did get a whole lot of war score, and hence 16,000 gold. So we should spend some of that. One thing we should obviously spend it on is upgrading Jericho, because as a result of the Garden of Gethsemane, we got an additional holding slot appeared in Jerusalem, and I constructed a new castle there, which got named Jericho. You're allowed to change the name of castles as well. Excellent. So I could call it something else, but frankly, Jericho seems like a pretty good name for a castle. We should just build some better walls there. Let's press the Build Walls in Jericho button.
Yes, because otherwise you don't want to be in a situation where the walls of Jericho can come tumbling down.
No, I think Jericho wants not to have a fort level of 3.5, really. So let's set that going. I think a fair amount of money will go into upgrading Jericho from a brand new castle to the best castle I can build, which is quite a good castle now.
Speaking of Jericho, I encountered a thing the other day, a snippet from some fiction in which somebody who was annoyed by their husband playing the trumpet described it as having been used as a prehistoric siege weapon. Also, other good names involved a sort of loud pretzel.
Right, so I should also build, since I can, a new keep, an improved keep in Mirabel, and an improved keep in Ramallah. And my the other main part of the domain of the Queen of Jerusalem is up here in Damascus, where we can get better castle fortifications and better castle fortifications. So that should improve the fort level there. What else is in my domain? I've got another couple of counties, which are whatever duchy Ansa had before she moved in here, yes. So Deir has some other guy in it, but Samara's mine. Note the slightly different architecture over here. So we can also build a better keep in Samara. And, well, let's start with castle walls in Kirkuk. Right, so that's burnt through the first 2,500 of my money. Without doing anything at all. We could also upgrade Gethsemane to level 4, which is like an excellent way to spend a phenomenal amount of money for very little gain.
In the long term, it's great for your dynasty and all kinds of shiny things.
Also, it does apparently give a health bonus, which seems nice. Right, that's set that going. That's consumed a total of 3 and a bit thousand of my 16,000. So about these factions then, about specifically this independence faction. Who's the strongest member? Strongest member is, I think, must be Gregorio of Bahrain, Al-Bahrain. Oh. No, it's actually Morcar. Right. And the thing I noticed earlier when I was poking around this save is that Athelstan of Najran, my spy master is also a member of this faction. I'm not sure if it's going to work for me to send my spy master to scheme against other members of this faction. I mean, I suppose I could try it, or I could try hiring a new spy master. I mean, I could get a better spy master, but on the other hand, keeping this one as spy master avoids annoying him further. Let's try sending him to scheme in Montreal to discourage Morcar from factionalising against me. Meanwhile, Morcar himself can, I think, be sent to research military tech. The steward is now being very helpful overseeing construction. Before he was gaining nothing at all, but now we have a substantial build time modifier on everything in Jerusalem, which is Gethsemane and 3 castles. So that should be good. There's some other idea I had. Oh, yes. It's getting to be time for a grandmother to start influencing her grandchildren's marriage choices, isn't it? And such like. So, little Nuno, who is two generations down, heir to the kingdom, is 6 years old. That means it's time to start educating him, doesn't it? So I should probably suggest that someone in my court, e.g. me, educates him. And we could also see if we can find a good wife for him. Is there a convenient genius of about his age we can grab? Yes, there's Eudokia, who is even in my court.
Not like his first cousin or anything?
She's Eudokia Argyros, so she's at least of a different dynasty. Let's just have a look at... let's just have a quick look at her ancestry and see if it looks familiar. So I think I remember recruiting him, Anthemios, possibly for marriage purposes. But like none, I'm pretty sure none of the grandparents are, none of, let me get to the right person again. Eudokia's grandparents are familiar. I don't think her great-grandparents are anyone interesting either. So no, I don't think she's actually, I think she's a consequence of me inviting a genius over because I thought I would have someone for him to marry, and then not turning out to have someone for him to marry. So he married a random countess. No, he, it looks like did I grant him that county? No, I didn't grant him that county. He went off and got that himself because that's the consequence of the new of that last crusade. Anyway, I think it's perfectly safe for little Nuno to marry you thingamy. What's her name? I've forgotten her name. Eudokia. Was that it? I can't remember. Let's have a look. I mean, she is a few years older than him, but where's she got to? Yeah, she's 3 years older, but I don't think that's too bad. We might want to do something about her religion at some point. Maybe I should find someone suitable to teach her in the hope of turning her Catholic before she comes of age.
What is she?
Orthodox, yes. as you might guess from the name Eudokia Argyros. Nuno would gain 189 prestige from marrying into House Argyros and minus 100 for marrying the relative of Count. But somehow at the age of 6 he already has 989 prestige. So
I think this isn't something that you really need to worry about.
right, so rather amusingly, because he's not actually in my court, this causes me to get a message from his mother saying, "My son would like to marry your courtier, Eudokia." Yes, accept. Right. I think I should... Oh, she's currently being taught by Suleiman Fadles, who does not look like the kind of person I want teaching her. So ideally we want someone either zealous or diligent, or even better, both. But preferably who's also like a decent diplomat. I mean, Morcar is zealous and diligent, and Mencia is zealous and diligent. But neither of them has very high diplomacy. I mean, there might be someone good in someone else's court, I suppose, but I'd quite like to keep her nearby. I'd quite like to give her to a courtier rather than a vassal as well, so it doesn't matter when I pull her back. Yeah, I think diligent is generally good, so probably better to go for diligent rather than zealous if possible. I'm just being confused about how this sort order works. Let's try doing it like that. That's better. Ugh. Very lacking in excellent, diligent people. I mean, she's not really... Maybe I need to actually start seeing if I can send her to a foreign court, or at least a court elsewhere in Jerusalem. Because I don't really have a good tutor for her. How is my... daughter's court? But no, but I can't send her. Oh no, she's in my court. Yes, so I can send her elsewhere. Oh, we need to wait for what? Do we have to wait for a reply for? Right, Elvira is considering some other offer from us. Well, let's wait a bit because I don't think I want to. She's still considering an offer from us. Yes, okay. I can't remember what it is. All right. Yes, of course. I was offering to tutor Nuno. So I am now tutoring Nuno. And in the other direction, have you, Elvira, got someone who would like to tutor Nuno's future wife? No. Okay. Well, let's just ask other people. I think I need to do this at least duchy level. Probably the older duchies are better places for having nice big courts with lots of interesting people in them. I suppose I could try to invite someone suitable. Which might be quicker. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find anyone good just lying around in our kingdom. Right. Zealous, diligent, grey eminences who are willing to accept an invitation. Catholic would probably have been a requirement as well, but still, they are all Catholic. Well, I think I like Gintar, or however that's pronounced, Gintare, courtier in Grodno, who has 21 diplomacy, is a zealous, diligent, gregarious, grey eminence. I think she will produce an excellent wife for our grandson. Right. Oh yes, I'm one commander down, aren't I? The reason why I'm one commander down is because I hurled a commander at an opposing commander to keep myself out of prison. So I have actually got a commander lying around. It's Munio, Munio, not to be confused with Nuno. Yes, Munio, who was my commander until I fed him to a metaphorical wolf. So we probably want him back. Though he's only a courtier, we could see if there's a better commander out there we could replace him with. So we would need another siege leader, I think. I think our current marshal is an organizer. I may need to exit some programs. My laptop is being a bit crunchy today. Let's close M player. Well, I've screwed something up because we've got very few people here. No, I think it may just be that there are no good siege leaders available. Yeah, that's there are no good siege leaders available. Let's just reappoint the old one. Plus, his name is Munio Zenones. He's got a palindromic patronymic, so obviously we have to keep him around. Zenones. Anyway, I should also appoint some people to all of these empty slots in my council. Specifically, I should probably appoint the various members of the Independence faction in order to cheer them up. I mean, honorary titles, sorry, not council positions. So, for instance, Duchess Garafalia could become the keeper of the swans. Duke Morcar could be master of the horse. Gregorio and Valdemar already have honorary titles, and Athelstan is my spy master, and I think I've temporarily decided not to fire him, but I don't think he's important enough to be worth trying to cheer up in that respect. I mean, I could just send them all gifts to push their opinion up. Spread the post-Crusade wealth a little, though to be fair it looks like they've already got a fair amount of post-Crusade wealth. You seem to have a sword from heaven. I can improve his opinion by 50 for 48 money. Yep, I'm going to do that. She's quite expensive. Still, I've got plenty. And his opinion of me 71, so I'm not sure it's really useful to improve his opinion. Let's send him an alcohol gift instead. Right. So now I'm waiting. Aha! The old wound from one of my many battlefield duels has finally healed, leaving a pretty grotesque scar behind. Loses the trait wounded, gains the trait scarred. Yes, that's a great big scar across my face. Quite substantially bigger scar than my daughter has. For extra prestige. Which means that my personal combat skill is now back up to reasonably decent, especially for a fat 56-year-old. Oh yes, I did have an idea for recruiting a spy master, because I found someone who wanted to join my court who had like 25 intrigue and was deceitful, which is currently good because my battlefield betrayal means I get a positive opinion boost modifier from deceitful people. And don't have that rather vicious negative opinion modifier. So maybe I should recruit I mean, I can easily make him like me just by throwing money at him, to be fair. Go on. There you go. He likes me a lot better now. Right. Gintare Hurema has joined my court. So the idea now is that she will tutor Eudokia. Eudokia might become a Catholic faithful. Yes, that's the plan. We also hope she'll become a Grey Eminence, but the Catholicism is the major aim here. And meanwhile, Nuno is being tutored by me and hence should end up with pretty decent martial skill. Right, so I think I don't want to do anything too ambitious until we've sorted out this faction a bit. Okay, maybe I do. My liege, my work in Mosul seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening and forging documents, I've managed to fabricate a claim on the Duchy of Mosul, presently held by despot Phocos of Assyria. I leave it up to you whether to press it or not. Yes. Yes, it costs 458 gold and 300 prestige, but I am totally here for getting a strong claim on the Duchy of Mosul. Thank you. Yes, Pink Beast presses something, possibly a claim, possibly a duck. So that is not an inheritable claim. Whatever dubious reasoning there is behind it does not extend to my daughter. So I should probably press that fairly soon. While the Byzantine Empire is still in the throes of whatever it's in the throes of at the moment. To be fair, it only appears to have... he's currently dealing with one revolt, which is nicely neutral, nicely 10% war score, despite having been going on for quite a lot of years, which is good because one of my vassals is currently fighting the revolters. He is also finally the Empire of Italia is trying to take Amalfi off them. So Amalfi has been the last remaining Byzantine territory in the Italian peninsula for a while, and well, kind of the last, and Basileus of Italia is currently trying to take it away. Actually, there is also, I believe, yes, an Amalfitan city, Neapolis, is actually also owned by Amalfi and hence by the Byzantine Empire, because they took that while I was in charge over there. But that's actually not part of Italia. That's the problem of the Holy Roman Empire. But amusingly, yes, we have this independent Kingdom of Sicily now. Which I can imagine might want to break off bits of the Byzantine Empire. Right, so I think I'm still in a bit in a wanting to do something about that independence faction, though as my armies regain their strength, the independence faction is becoming less worrying. Oh, there was someone trying to kill someone who mattered, wasn't there? Have I stopped that? Let's have a quick look through the list of plots. Who is Agidia Argyros and why does everyone want to kill her? I have no idea. Oh, lots of people seem to want to kill the Duke of Ascalon.
If he's a big man in one of the independence faction, then maybe let them.
I don't think Ascalon is in the independence faction.
I think the current Ascalon is fine. We have had Ascalonic problems in the past, but not current.
Yes. Well, I mean, he is so useless. His attributes go 3, 2, 3, 5, 1. So I think I may just let him die because his heir is his much more useful sister. Anyway, back to the plots. Someone is trying to kill Duke Gregorio, who is a member of the independence faction. Do I get the no murderer trait if I'm merely a member of a plot?
I don't think you do, but I might be wrong.
So who's his heir? Someone fairly unexciting. Well, let's ask to join that plot and see what happens. Countess Maria of Thais, is she of any interest? Don't think so. As Thais is my former place, I think. Another plot to kill Rodrigo of Ascalon by his sister. You should perhaps join forces with everyone else who's trying to kill your brother. Someone's trying to kill the Duchess of Cappadocia. I'm wondering if I should grant her independence. Okay, I can't see what, if there was a problem, I can't remember what it was. I think it was someone who was of slight interest and whom I wanted to keep alive, had a murder plot against them. So yes, Nuno has been insulting people. So we have the choice of getting him honest, which is good for diplomacy but bad for personal combat skill and intrigue, or telling him not to be honest, or indeed making him deceitful, which is good for intrigue and personal combat skill but bad for diplomacy. I think he probably needs some diplomacy in his future, so let him be honest. Measles has broken out in Tabuk. That's nice. Erich Di Spoleto is known as the drunkard and he's only 15. I mean, he is the Duke of Baghdad, but still. Managing to be the drunkard at 15 is a little unfortunate. Okay, don't know why you want to kill him. Aha, Maximos of the Byzantine Revolt accepted Duke Ignatios of Mudar's peace offer. Consequence of which is that we now have that county there. Aleppo is now ours. At least somewhat ours. Part of it was not actually held by the revolt, it was held by the main part of the Byzantine Empire. and it's held, hence still held by the main part of the Byzantine Empire. So that one castle there, you even get a little picture of it, is the barony of Sarmin is still held by the Byzantine Empire, and we're going to have to get it back off them somehow. It's going to be like an entire tedious war against the Byzantine Empire for one castle, along with an entire tedious war against, well, either the Empire or the Revolt for this one little bishopric. Oh, someone's left the Independence faction. That's nice. Castle walls have been built in Jericho. Actually, we should build a castle town for extra tax income. Should also possibly look at whether any of the cities around would like extra tax income. No. There we don't actually have any cities of our... Oh no, we hold the counties, don't we? So that gives us... militia training ground is no good for money. That seems to be the main thing that we don't have. Oh yes, I was getting quite well off for tech points, wasn't I? I've got quite a lot of economy. And in particular, that means I could buy... I can't get improved keep 7 because we're way ahead of the rest of the world on our improved keeps anyway. So that requires like 1400 tech points. But for only 150, because I'm most of the way there already, I could bump up my castle infrastructure, which would allow me to build more things. I'm building something in each of my castles at the moment. Yes. So let's not bother buying that castle infrastructure points, those castle infrastructure points just yet. Is Samara really not Catholic? No. But yes, I think we should buy ourselves some additional tech points once we've got everything upgraded as far as we currently can. Why are you so annoyed with me, Duchess Anastasia? Oh, because you thought you should be on my council. Yes, well, you were wrong. So is the Byzantine Empire in the defensive pact? No. It's still at war with Italia. Like that faction is officially not dangerous at the moment. So maybe I could go to war with the Byzantine Empire. Things keep popping out of the Byzantine Empire. Like, I'm fairly sure Adana wasn't independent last time I looked at it, which wasn't very long ago. But now Countess Nicorette is part of the independent Duchy of Trebizond. Kind of want to wait for... I mean, it'd be nice if that could recover, but... The elective succession faction has disbanded. Not really interested in those two. So how is that war going anyway? Oh, good. Pleasantly 0% at the moment, so they'll be tied up in that one for a little bit. I'd like to get my vassals down to sensible amounts of annoyance at least before I go embarking on yet another war with the Byzantine Empire. Castle Town has been built in Jericho. That's not Jericho, that's Jericho. Well, let's upgrade the Castle Town. All right, the independence faction is melting away now. That's excellent. Okay, I have no idea why you want to murder her. I'd still like to discourage Duke Mordar from being in factions because he's scary. But like at some point soon I'm just going to declare war on the Byzantine Empire. Partly because I'm a bit scared they're going to join this defensive pact. Aha! Samara is no longer Yazidi. Let's go after that Zikri patch then. Duke Morcar is now the only member of the independence faction. Nissa has become Catholic, though there's a danger that I'm going to grant that independence because I don't really need. The thing is, Nissa's part of Cappadocia, and it looks like Cappadocia now is entirely outside the area I'm interested in. So that county is not actually part of the Near East. So I could grant Cappadocia independence and it would not cause me any trouble. And now that I don't have an enormous faction, maybe I could, because it will reduce my threat a little. You could grant independence to Duchess Apollonia, and that won't lose us any land we care about. And will give us somewhat of a reduction in threat, minus 12% threat. And she will bizarrely be grateful for the fact that we've thrown her out there to the wolves, or at least to the Byzantine Empire. So there is now an independent Cappadocia, and our threat has gone down a bit. Castle fortifications have been built in Shaba. Right, there's nothing else I can build there, so now I'm going to buy some more technology so I can build some more things. Now I think if I spend 150 gold on some extra castle infrastructure, that will unlock Barracks 5 and Militia Training Ground 3. Which it doesn't actually do in that county because that's a different county, and that's per county. Stoatface. Well, that didn't work very well. Oh well, I'm sure we'll have a use for that eventually. Right, the Independence faction has completely disbanded, so I don't think there's much point in scheming at Morcar anymore.
Unless you've got another faction.
Nope.
Yeah, okay, it's probably worth putting the spy master on. Researching tech or something.
Yep. Study technology back over there in Fustat. Right. My vassals are almost at no annoyance at having had their troops raised for too long. So I think it may be time to declare war on the Byzantine Empire. For my personal claim on Mosul. Oh no, I still have a truce with him. What a nuisance. Get yourself ousted. How did he manage to be in a situation where I thought I was expecting his the revolt to beat him, because it was certainly looking like it was going to beat him. No, he's beaten down all the revolts. And as a result, we've still got a truce with the Byzantine Empire for another 6 years. I mean, Africa has about the same troop numbers as me, but does not have a phenomenal amount of money in the bank. Ah, Duke Erich the Drunkard is now of legal age. He is now a legal drunkard and a scholarly theologian and Duke of Baghdad. That's nice. Who do I have the ability to imprison? Meh. I don't think I want to imprison my daughter Mencia. Don't think there's a good reason for me to imprison the Duke of Ascalon either. Plotting to kill randomly Lupo de Prior, apparently. So, Castle Town has been built in Jericho. Just improve the amount of people we get there. So yeah, have my domain levies. My domain levies are close to being recharged. Duke Eric the Drunkard has no sooner come to power, come of age, than he's declared war on another drunkard. Duke Eric the Drunkard has declared the Baghdadian holy war for Khuzestan on Sultan Musa the Drunkard. That's the Najidids. Apparently he now thinks he can go after the Najidids on his own. Go after the Najidids for this bit here, please. Oh, thank you. No sooner said than done. Duke Antonio of Nafud has declared the Nafudi holy war for Nafud on Sultan Musa the Drunkard. Right, well,
Did you join in that war? Or?
no, you can't, I believe, join in vassal holy wars.
Yes. Still, I could look to. Maybe you can bring some money.
I think, like, I've got, so Musa has 9,500 troops. Antonio of Nafud has 3,000. Erich of Baghdad has 8,000. So I think between them, unless they're complete stoats, they should be able to do a pretty decent job of pushing over the Najidids, especially since the Najidids are also defending a claim by the Serene Doge of Venice, and are currently attacking the Abbasid Shahdom just in case they needed a bit of extra stuff to do. So I don't think there's any serious danger that we're going to lose the wars against the Najidids unless they manage to organise themselves out of their existing wars. All the peasants have revolted in Bostra. Let's just send some domain troops after them. And think about how we're going to... Oh, no, that wasn't what I meant. Deal with the Basileus of the Byzantine Empire, who is inconveniently still on the throne. I mean, I don't really want to... Oh, my grandson Nuno is a charitable little rascal. He just gave his newest toy to the smith's son. Yes, we like charitable. He won't have a brilliant personal combat skill the way I'm raising him, but... Bishop Fernando feels I risk too much with my escapades and tried to persuade me to stop risking my life. But it's such a thrill. Bishop Fernando's opinion changes, envies bravery. Gregorio Polkaris has contracted measles. Well, I was like, yes, he does indeed appear to have contracted measles. I think I am currently trying to murder him, which may not be entirely polite anymore since he isn't a member of any factions. Maybe I should stop trying to murder him now. Oh, I'm apparently not trying to murder him. Maybe the plot has been wound up. Who's in my prison? Can I release any of them? No, there's those two who we're trying to convert to Catholicism, I think. Yes. And those ones, oh, Edwulf, oh yes, Edwulf is, Redwald of the Northumbrian Revolt is willing to pay a ransom for him. Well, go on then. Take him off my hands.
And if not, well, presumably this spelling has changed.
Right.
While you're on the decisions screen, do you have on there a decision to create the empire from there?
Yep.
That's
At the top.
Right, I can't do that from here.
Requirements being adult, independent, at peace, prestige greater than or equal to 5,000, holds the county of Jerusalem and completely controls the region of the Near East.
And yeah, okay.
We've got all of them but one. So you formed an alliance in the middle of a war. Are you by any chance going to call everyone into that, call your ally into that war? Keeping half an eye on what's going on with this. Oh yes, there's the Ascalon army turning up to help. So I have now got noticeably more troops than Africa. And Africa is continuing its gradually stomping through all of its neighbours, which might distract it from me taking
Just the
one little county, including Petra, which will make all of my upgrades to my existing great works expensive. But on the other hand, we can only add 2 more features to the gardens anyway. Oh no, 3, because it's actually it can actually have 1 more feature added at its current level. Oh, okay. Sadly, I am still not a mystic, and so can't build the Fountain of Youth. I mean, garrison size plus 10% in somewhere where I have 3 castles.
is not a terrible idea now.
Yes. Let us schedule that as well. Okay, I have kind of 2.5 castles. Jericho still needs quite a lot more building. But its keep was just completed.
Next upgrade. More keeps, Chiswick.
I think possibly things that keep being percentage increases are not the most useful things, but yeah, let's get another keep. Africa's troop numbers are going down and mine are going up. This may be useful. My husband, Virginio, explains that he is captivated by the grace and strength of hunting birds and begs me for a bird. Surely even the spouse of a queen must be allowed to enjoy the noble pastime of falconry, he says. So yeah, I think I can spend 25 gold on a falcon and causing his opinion to go up by 20 for 2 years and getting him aspiring falconer for a decade, with hence his diplomacy +1, and thus my state diplomacy +0.5. Oh, we have a new Duke of Antioch. Duke Baldwin of Antioch has just inherited the duchy from Duke Liutprand, who was his father. That's nice. Why does he dislike me? Mostly just the usual reasons.
Mostly what, short reign penalty, and doesn't like women?
Not, I don't think I still have a short reign penalty, but yes, he doesn't like women. He doesn't like the fact that my heir is also female.
I mean, all of these people are really incredibly sexist because, I mean, you know, apart from anything else, nearly all of these queens could totally have kicked every single one of their asses in battle, whether, you know, in battle or in personal wombat.
On which subject? Maybe we should go to war with Africa.
Yeah, it's probably a good time.
Right, they're down to 33,000 men, and I'm up to 40,000.
And lots of money.
And I've got 11,000 gold sitting around in case I feel like hiring some mercenaries.
Let's check how much money they have left.
1,200.
Okay.
Which, like, we'll hire some mercenaries.
Yeah, but you can easily outspend them in this department.
Oh, I have 3 different ways to get man. So a de jure claim gives it to Duke Morcar, essentially, and improves his opinion of me for 20 years, which is probably nice, but means he gets the prestige. Or the Count of Akbar has a claim on it. So if I do that, it looks like he gets the prestige from that as well. Okay, well, let's go for the de jure claim, not least because that's probably the most sensible. And it won't be evaporated by anyone dying.
De jure is de jure.
Seems like we also have some African holdings kicking around, but those can wait. Right, we are now officially at war with Africa. I think this is a raise all my troops moment.
Get some troops in there already, get it besieged and get that little score going tick, tick, tick. And then try and funnel everything else into Africa without reminding all people of each other's heads.
That'll be about a sensible number.
about strengthening.
Yes. Right, so Africa are organising themselves a bit on my border. It's fine. I'm piling everyone into Man briefly. Then when that lot arrive, we'll send them back to pick up everyone from Basra. What's the terrain around here? Desert, hills, mountains, mountains. I mean, maybe I should hold up in Sinai, but on the other hand, I'm going to have a decent number of troops very shortly.
Seems to you've got some decent commanders.
Yes. Yes, let's give this one someone at least halfway competent. Make sure there's a siege leader in that one. Those are conveniently marching away from my slightly undersized army. We have built a keep in Ramallah. Now we can improve our militia training ground in Ramallah again. Keep has been built in Mirabel. We can now improve the militia training ground in Mirabel. Castle walls have been built in Kirkuk. We can improve the stables in Kirkuk. Our knowledge of cavalry in Kirkuk has improved, which is probably why we can improve the stables. Oh, Africa's just piled all their waiting armies onto a ship, which is the trick that I've pulled in the past. Well, I think one trick is simply stick them in the ship because you can't hit them there. Another one is I noticed that they're heading over to the Sea of Palestine, that they're planning to come ashore somewhere else in my territory, in a way that's going to turn out to be inconvenient. I think what I'll do about that is that lot can... All right, they're coming ashore.
Can you just turn some of this lot around?
I need to be slightly organised about making sure they're all, that enough of them arrive enough of my troops arrive simultaneously.
You just switch the organisers and so on into the right places.
But actually we can tell they're coming ashore in Jaffa. While they're not labelled with a destination, we can see that the direction the soldier is pointing in is Jaffa and not Ascalon. So we can shift my mobile army to Ascalon. Stick Andreas in charge of that one. And Osric's already doing something useful. Let's release my Marshal from Morcar from what he's doing and put him at the head of this army. That will help everyone to get back to Ascalon early. And then we can stomp into Jaffa. Let's just check that nothing surprising happening down here. So that next fleet has arrived. Ooh. Oh, that's a bit scary. They've brought 13,000 troops down here. We are not in a position to defend against 13,000 troops.
How many are coming, and also are there any nearby mountains?
We are in mountains, but no, we're not in mountains. Sorry, Tajura's plains. There are mountains just across the strait. And conveniently they're currently distracted by being in a fight with someone else. So I think I'm going to retreat to Aden. And I think here actually is a higher priority for organisers. So I'll put my low rated organisers down here. And then in particular there is a fleet anchored in Aden. If I raise the Aden fleet, yes, then I can dismiss that one, and then I can re-raise that somewhere else. So then I think I might now be able to raise a new fleet here and put, well, some of this lot on there. So that's 5,700, and we can fit 5,200 onto that ship. Oops, I think I didn't need to deselect all of those. Let's do that again. Now, right, so that lot can go, oops, that was the wrong button. Oh no, that's the right button. I probably want to do that. And that lot can then be sent down to Aden as well. And that fleet can hop up the coast of Basra and pick up the next batch. So they've landed in Jaffa. They have only half morale at this point. So it's probably worth going and hitting them while they still only have half morale, even though I haven't got everyone ready yet. Morcar is not currently busy organising people down south. Let's also stick in Pankratios and me. So I will now move in there, and the reinforcements should also be told to join me as soon as they're ready.
I would unless you're going to think you really need them, the lot that are nearest Africa, I would start them walking into Africa and see them.
I don't really like the numbers without them. Like I don't actually have more troops than them, and it is plains. So, I mean, I could send... Okay, no, couldn't really send 63 of them back into Africa. That would be silly.
Step across the border, blow a raspberry and run away.
Yeah. So our running away across the border here seems to be going all right.
Can you get everyone together in Tadjoura?
No, I'm getting them all together in Aden,
Right, okay.
which is mountainous and my territory. And which has some ships sitting in the harbour in case I need them.
Yeah, but then you can just ship across to Zelia, which I think then gives you more options, right?
But I'd like to get that army properly assembled, so including this lot, which is currently waiting for its ships to arrive in Basra.
They're not looking very happy.
So we have successfully taken Mutar, and we've happened to have squished the trade post in Aden. Right, this army is now idle because we've got all of the African holdings in Man. So I think we now stomp over to Fustat with that lot, while this lot is busy trying to defeat the African army that landed in Jaffa.
To get the last army to go to the county before and not go all the way in so that it's easy to turn them around when it turns out that you totally squashed them anyway. Or at this rate, you just squash them.
It's true.
A fair amount kicking around here for the bit where they wander around for a bit to somewhere vaguely friendly and then come back for another go, etc.
I could have sworn I heard the enemy commander Sava
Negative.
barking orders. But as I searched the plains, Sava has 7 martial points, so he wasn't barking very good orders. But as I searched the plains, he is nowhere to be found. A fellow soldier finally informs me that he has been spotted cowering in the far back behind a large rock, and most disgracefully behind his troops. Well, I'm not so much itching for a fight, given you have minus 40 personal combat skill.
Compared to your at least 15, isn't it?
29.
It's not that you're itching for a fight, it's that he's cruising for a bruising.
Yes. Because I've recovered from my wound from the last duel.
Possibly you'd be able to do this one with your wound tied behind your back.
Yes, so as I said, despite being a fat 58-year-old, I'm quite capable of taking him. My Basque Crusader falchion felt like an extension of my arm, and meeting Sava's eyes, I saw they were full of apprehension. I moved gracefully and struck once. I did not need to strike again. Once it is done, I roar in victory. So I have 2 options, which are both, yes, both gain 50 prestige and the usual other things. But the question is whether I let him live. I think given he's infirm and ancient and has terrible martial skill, he should be...
Their leading
Martial skill of 7 is just about at the point where he's worse than useless. As in, it would be better if he were dead. So, no, I walk away victorious, leaving him maimed and severely injured, in addition to being whatever else he is, useless and infirm. So maimed is another minus 30 personal combat skill, and severely injured doesn't actually no.
Personal combat skill, yes.
Martial intrigue, fertility, health, attraction.
Yeah.
Oh, personal combat skill minus 20. Yes, another minus 20 for that. So he now has. I think it must saturate at minus 40 or something, or has he not got it? Oh no, he hasn't got it yet. There, now he's got it. Now it's minus 90. Right, so he now has minus 90 personal combat skill, 3 martial, and is still leading armies. Excellent, that's just what we want.
And also, if he happens to snuff it in the immediate future, because it's a de jure claim, it doesn't matter. It's not a personal claim against
Well, he's just a random commander. He's just a random African commander who someone had foolishly put in charge of an army. And so I've now left him, yes, rather the worse for wear. Right, so where are they fleeing to? We currently only know that they're fleeing southwards to Ascalon. So let's follow them down at least as far as my border. And we'll see what's going on. So the African army down here has not followed me into Aden. Which is probably for the best. That was sadly not considered a decent sized battle.
Is that what, like
2%. We've got all the third batch of armies in Basra to go onto the ships.
Well, I mean, it's possible you got very few points for bombing a useless stoke, but it just wasn't.
But yeah, I mean the thing is that Africa is quite a big military power, so you need to have quite a large battle for it to be significant. We can actually stand down that fleet if we need it. We can raise it again. Those lot are still arriving. So yes, the African army is fleeing back to Africa, where we will be.
classic pincer movement?
Yes. So it's now moving into Kolzum. Right. Well, I'll be there to meet it.
Extreme humbleness. Be some rattling noises.
Now it's fleeing to Fustat. Well, curiously, I'm heading for Fustat. Oh, Fustat has a very low supply limit for us. Right, we need to be a bit careful there. Kolzum's all right, but we're going to need to... So Fustat has a supply limit of 8, just shy of 9,000. That's probably not the right thing to do, is it? Let us do a manual splitting. You just peel off all of Mencia's troops. Yeah, that'll do reasonably well. Right, their troops are now fleeing to Ikmim, which has a similarly low supply limit. Oh, we just lost a battle while I wasn't looking. Pause. Didn't even know we had any people there. Right, I mean, I know we have people there, but we seem to have lost a battle somewhere over here.
I mean, that's a common way to lose battles in StarCraft. You sort of accidentally misrouted a unit over there. You didn't notice them going there, which is how you didn't stop them correctly. Eventually, they walk into an overwhelming force and get zopped.
Yes, I mean, I knew there was...
While they're concentrating somewhere else, and your forces are under attack. What are they doing there?
right, so let us... does improve the castle walls again in Jericho. So yes, that army is kind of ill-equipped, to put it mildly. There is... Oh, I think the reinforcements have already arrived. Oh no, there are reinforcements there. Just passing the Horn of Africa. But I don't think they're going to arrive in time. Especially not given the African reinforcements who are arriving. There's only 5,000 troops on that ship. Don't think there's a lot of benefit in putting them in at Aden because, I mean, unless they're very quick. No, my troops are already in retreat. Let's give it a little longer. They can safely go into the... Oh, fleets don't... ever get movement locked. That's interesting. So when are they arriving, and are they arriving in Aden? They're arriving in Aden in 2 days. Most of them are arriving in Aden in 2 days' time. There is no way I am going to get my troops ashore and win that battle in 2 days. Therefore, that overwhelming force is definitely turning up in Aden. And my best hope is to lose the battle before they arrive. Which, is very unlikely not to happen. There they go. Right. Damn it. So you guys should now follow. Where are my armies? My armies are all fleeing all the way up the coast. What the hell? Why are you fleeing to... What? You're fleeing to that tiny bit of English territory all the way up there. Okay, I'll take my fleets up up there with me then.
Well, if they die there, you can think only this of them.
Yes. Let us head up to Sinai then. So I think there's a danger that I'm going to meet that large African army if I follow this lot. And when I say danger, I mean opportunity. So actually, no, I don't want to move them in one lump. They'll suffer from attrition if I do that. They want to be split more or less in half. Meanwhile, Gariphalia is attacking the Ilamid Empire, because apparently they hold Muscat or something bizarre like that. Yep, it's true. There's a coat of arms indicating that the Walia of Adam is held by someone random and not by Duchess Gariphalia. Well, thank you for that, because that's one of those irritating little bits of clean-up I was going to have to do if you didn't. What's that fleet doing there? That's not a useful fleet. So let's join those together. Possibly we want more space between those so they can't end up accidentally overlapping. All still looks good. Oops, they have ended up overlapping. Won't be for long. Really won't be for long. Right. Let's send this lot down on this side of the Nile. This lot along this side of the Nile. And thus avoid the embarrassment of them overlapping with one another. Oh no, there's some enemy troops up here. Oh, we can get them with this one. Let's just give this one some good commanders. My grandson Nuno has a tender and loving soul. Yes, kind is good for rulers too. Right, well that should be a fairly effective battle. Meanwhile, everyone here is still moving and doesn't look to be in serious trouble. Can't currently see the main mass of the African army. Why can't I raise fleets in those places? Surely they should have fleets. I think I have no fleets raised at the moment. Mostly I'm sending fleets out here so I can get a better view of what's going on the African mainland. Aha! There we go. My spy fleet has spotted a large African army marching northwards. No, definitely going north. Well, actually, no, they're confused. 21,000 of them are going to Masawa, and 3,000 of them are going to Asaita, which is in this direction. So yes, they are actually going both ways, but the majority of them are heading north, and they're the ones I'm worried about. Well, worried is a rather generous term. I mean, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, that battle I don't need to worry about. We'll win that one.
Meanwhile, I just broke that geo search problem, and it seems to be working. I didn't do anything any cleverer than what Ian had done, but it's possible that there was some hidden performance problem. I mean, I say working, it finishes. Giving the right answer is another question.
Right, that army has now become an ordinary army. It's in a desert, and we have many more troops than it. But it's about to get some... Are they coming? They're heading into Hayar, so I don't really want to engage them just yet. Okay, you guys can stay in Suakin, because they'll get their reinforcements before I can get mine. So I want to hold back a little. I think I want to try to meet them in Suakin, actually. So let's have you lot go to Idab and you lot go to Nubia. And we'll see how that goes. Battle of Kolzum has been won. That army is now available for backup as well. This army should be organised with a good set of people, because ideally their army will come and meet us here in Suakin. Slight danger they'll choose to take the battle to us in Nubia instead. Let's see. Don't really want to put any more troops into Nubia though, because it's already at the supply limit.
Good night.
Oh, a new Duke of Nefud. Duke Antonio II has inherited from Duke Antonio I. Duke Baldwin is declared war on his vassal Count Pamphilios of Alexandretta. That's nice. My fleeing army is still fleeing. Right, the enemy has chosen Nubia as the place where we will meet, which is like perfectly rational on their behalf and kind of annoying. So let us give that lot our best commanders. Morcar, Prankatiots and Ansa. Make sure that army has an organiser and we will send them in. I think they won't run just because one extra army is joining them. I think we should hold this lot back until they're movement locked so that they don't get scared. This lot should head down to Dotawo. Actually, no, what's the supply limit in IDAB is okay, isn't it? Yeah, just about. Should head down to IDAB. What? No, I don't need another claim on Mosul. Sorry, I should have withdrawn you from that job. Go and improve diplomatic relations in Baghdad instead. Right, they are now movement locked, so now we pile everyone into Nubia. And hope for the best. Actually, let's leave that as nominally 2 armies, because then I can easily split them apart again as soon as the battle's over. Built more walls in Jericho, excellent. That allows us to upgrade the castle town, so let's do that for more tax income. Right, that's looking fairly good. And we have 2 armies about to arrive. So while we are a bit short on numbers, you guys aren't going to Nubia. Well, that's weird of you. Excellent. Musa Najadid has joined the defensive pact opposing Ansa di Spoleto. That's fine, someone else is dealing with that one, not me. Some weird stuff involving bishops. Right, well, Battle of Salalah has gone our way for a nice big lump of war score, 44% war score from that one battle. Which probably means that this is now all but won. and probably our best bet now is to just get the hell out of Africa. Which starts with get the hell out of this province with a tiny supply limit. Baldwin of Antioch has imprisoned someone, that's nice. Because now we are continuing to get ticking war score for controlling Marne. So unless they actually start seriously besieging us, we'll just win naturally. Right, Ramallah has a new training ground. Let us also get it some new barracks. Mirabel has a new militia training ground. Let's get it some new barracks. No, don't go that way. We want you to head up this side of the Nile to avoid supply limit problems. That rather random army there has finally got itself together. They can head back to Sinai. Indeed, we'll probably just disband them as soon as they get across the border. Right, we have 100% war score. Let us enforce our demands. Ownership of Petra was transferred from King Alaric II to Queen Ansa II. Everyone's trying to kill everyone else. Right, now we just need to tidy up our armies. So that fleet can be disbanded as soon as we got it into port. It was just there so we could spy on the Africans. This army was lucky and got away with not getting squashed. A temple holding has finished construction in Mecca. In case it was short of them. Some reorganisation. Oh yes, yes, he's made sure that the vassal structure is sensible over here. Right, so if we pay 466 gold, we can restore Petra to its former glory. Which seems like an obviously excellent thing to do. Right, gradually getting people home. Marshall back to researching military tech. Oh, Zentulo Munez. Apparently needs to be taught by someone. Well, I'll teach him if no one else will. One army still to get home. Thought you'd done that already, Musa. Joining the defensive pact against me. Having returned from the battlefield, I still don't feel at home. My body is here, but my mind is still in Jaffa. Sometimes I wonder if I died there and this is all a nightmare. Sometimes I cannot breathe. Sava. Oh dear, I think that was the guy I bested in personal combat, and curiously enough, he died from his wounds shortly afterwards. So one option is to gain the trait celibate, which is probably not a great loss at the age of 59. Another option is to gain depressed, which is a lot more of a loss. Another option is to gain drunkard and lustful. Yeah. And another final option is to gain wroth and stressed and possibly depressed. Well, I think we'll take celibate, which is my usual approach at this point. But we're not actually trying to expand that way. Duke Gregorio has just declared war on Sultan Musa. Are you sure you're not playing Dwarf Fortress, Pink Beast? Yep. Nearly there. Right. So that's everyone dismissed. Oh, I have no designated regent anymore. Right. Well, let's find someone halfway competent. Let's go for Morcar. Oh, we had a brief independence faction apparently. Right, so is the Byzantine Empire still ruled by the same person? The way to check that is whether I still have a truce with the Byzantine Empire. I do, how infuriating. Count of Alexandretta's come of age, which is not very helpful. I'm slightly surprised I even noticed. So now we're like, excellent, Castle Town has been built in Jericho. Can have another level of Castle Town for more tax. So how, what exact wars are you currently in? Well, defending against Erich the Drunkard in the Baghdadian Holy War, 66% in favour of Erich. Antonio of Nafud, that's another of my vassals, 39% in favour of Antonio. And against Gregorio the Lionheart, currently 0%. So 3 of my vassals are currently engaged in holy wars against the Najidids. And their major problem is finding enough Najidid territory to occupy, I suspect. Oh dear, someone's about to lose badly. Yeah, Nafud's just about to lose a battle unless they get someone to come and help them. So what are you doing? You're in Al-Najaf to proselytise, which is still Zikri, but you went and converted a person instead. Well, that's nice. Ah, excellent. Now you've managed to actually convert Al-Najaf itself to be Catholic. Right. Where next? I think that's all of my heretical vassals dealt with. I think now we probably just want to deal with the infidels. That's even one of my own counties. We should deal with that one. Right, so now I have built the garden retinue in Gethsemane, which means that I've gained that probably not very useful at my scale decision to recruit an honour guard from it, which gets me a 1,500 strong regiment materialising in Jerusalem in an emergency. And I can't build any more because I've run out of feature slots again until we've got Gethsemane upgraded to level 4. Oh, Sultan Musa, as a result of that rather big battle, is now winning the war for Nafud. Do you think he would that the Duke would like some money to hire some mercenaries? It's going to require a lot of gifts to get him up to like the few hundred you need to hire a decent mercenary band. I mean, if we can get him up to say 500 money, then that would probably help him. But I can only do it 20 money at a time, so I'm not sure I have the patience. He might now consider it worth hiring some mercenaries to help him with his war. Have you like hired 15 zillion mercenaries? No, those are all proper Najidid troops. And I can't declare war on you because I've got a truce with you still. I would if I could. So we have a holding here that's owned by Africa, a holding there that's owned by the Byzantine Empire. A holding there that's owned by the Knights Hospitaller, and I'm not sure I can allow that to persist indefinitely. Because I think that will count against my holding all of the territory. Oh, there's a loose fleet there. Clear off. So the Ilamids are defending against Duchess Garifalia, who is at least winning her war. Looks like the Najidids are about to win another battle unless someone actually like organises themselves. Because the thing is that we have several people attacking the Najidids, but not doing so in any usefully organised way. So each one of them can be defeated. Oh, excellent. Nuno's becoming just. That's brilliant. Eudokia has not yet become Catholic, though. She has become zealous, which is inconvenient if you want to convert someone to Catholicism. Right, we have a new keep in Samara. You can also improve the stables in Samara. Have a new count of acre. That's nice. All right, apparently Deceitful doesn't actually give a net positive for battlefield betrayal. It just slightly reduces how negative it is. So have we got nothing left we can build there? No. How's Damascus's tech doing? Yeah, its improved keeps are coming along, but they're going along fairly slowly. Is the Nefudian army just about to do something stupid again? Like, your best bet is just to hunker down in those two counties and otherwise stay out of the way. But I appreciate that the computer is not very good at doing the sensible thing in battles. I mean, Africa, to be fair, fought me pretty well. Stables have been built in Kirkuk. We've improved our knowledge of trade practices, which is almost useless. Unlocked port 4. I'm not sure we can even build because it's not on the coast. Oh dear. Revolting peasants in Sinai. I mean, I'm sure someone else could raise some troops to deal with this, but it makes me popular with the local counts. Oh, new Duke of Ascalon. He is 1 year old and dislikes me. But that doesn't really matter because he's 1 year old. Right, looks like the Najidids are going to thrash someone again. War score in that war back to 0 because the ticking war score for Rafa and for holding the Duchy of Nefud is still working properly. I think the Najidids are doing a pretty good job in this war, these wars. I mean, helped by some terrible behaviour by my vassals. Heribert di Spoleto seeks to kill Duke Erich the Drunkard of Baghdad, who is also a di Spoleto, and is frankly a pretty terrible... right, and Heribert is the heir to the Duchy of Baghdad. Okay, well, I mean, it does look like Erich the Drunkard is a fairly terrible duke. He is the right religion. Actually, they're both fairly terrible. I'm not going to intervene on either side. Let the brothers murder one another if they want. Right, well, that won't have been good for the war score in that war. It's still, Duke Erich is still winning, but... who are you trying to kill? No one who obviously matters. How about you? You're trying to kill the Duke of Al-Mafraq. Who's he and why do I care? Or, oh no, that's the wrong person. I mean... That seems kind of rude. Are you the heir to Al-Mafraq or something? No. Carry on. I'm busy watching people lose wars on my behalf. And wishing someone would overthrow the Byzantine emperor. New random counter dare. If you guys could all gang up, you could get him. But you are variously making a complete hash of this. See, further complete hashery going on. Yes, patience is excellent. Oh, is someone trying to kill Duchess Elvira? That's probably unfortunate. We don't want that. Why does sorting by target not work sensibly? I mean, maybe that's not why she's in hiding, and maybe we don't know about the plot. But there's a plot. Do I imprison her, or do I just tell her to stop plotting? I'll tell her to stop plotting. Meanwhile, Jericho has been improved again. Right, well, thank you. Yes, you've usurped Alexandretta for reasons best known to yourself. Oh dear. At age 59, your husband Virginio died a natural death. Oh, I should probably find a third husband then. Oh, come on. Apparently, among the very few options, no one has diplomacy above 6. Really? Right, I'm going to find someone better. He looks like an excellent guy to have. Yes, thank you. Stop trying to murder my daughter. Right, she has now come out of hiding, so she knows that plot's ended as well. Was the same plot. Right, Aras Palamoneatis has arrived at my court. He doesn't like me enough to convert yet, but let's marry him. I mean, we can make it a forcefully matrilineal marriage, but it hardly makes much difference because, like, it's unlikely we're going to have any children. Oh look, someone else is losing a battle against the Najidites. Everyone envies my bravery. Oh right, my husband has finally found a crown. Right, we are continuing to make Jericho better. Oh dear, Duke Eric has just been imprisoned. Well, that's probably going to deal with that war. Yep, the Baghdadian war for Baghdadian Holy War for Khuzestan has ended. Duke Eric of Baghdad lost because he was terrible. I sent this kid some money and he hasn't spent it on an army. We've still got the same Basileus of the Byzantine Empire. Bah. And the same King of Africa. I'm hoping someone else will go to war with the Knights Hospitaller for me. Oh, just wandering around, checking for things not owned by me. That, of course, being one of them. She at least is doing all right in her war, albeit that it's a rather awkward one for her. Just, yeah, nothing. Erbil's got a lot of places in it, hasn't it? So that's one we know about. That's held by the Byzantine Empire. That one's held by Africa. That one's held by the Byzantine Empire again. So yes, there are two holdings held by different counties held by the Byzantine Empire, one held by Africa, one held by someone utterly random, which is being dealt with right now, and one held by the Knights Hospitaller, I think. Which isn't too bad. Sorry, I was accidentally paused while exploring that lot. I think Bahrain is about to get thrashed again. He's turned out all right. I mean, apart from being the wrong religion. Let's get him to be the right religion. Ah. Right, booze was what did it. So if you went in and helped with that battle, yeah, they probably lose anyway, actually. Are you about to get into a fight that you're going to lose by any chance? Yes. Barracks have been built in Ramallah, which means that we're now technology limited for everything again. Basically, we need more points in improved keeps and castle infrastructure to be able to build anything in Ramallah, and the same is true, I think, in Mirabel. And we do not yet have enough tech points to bump up either castle infrastructure or improved keeps.
You've got tea.
Oh, I've got tea. I did drink some of it. No. It was quite hot. Not anymore. That battle is at least fairly evenly balanced. Oh, but they brought some more armies along and it's all gone horribly wrong. Pride is not that bad a trait. And like, he is a genius. Yeah, let's let him have pride. Oh, there's a new pope. Pope Callistus II. Oh yes, that's a rather amusing thing. The Pope has decided that the papacy is not actually his primary title anymore. Primarily he is King Bishop of Finland. And his role as Pope is merely secondary to that of being King Bishop of Finland. Meanwhile, France is spectacularly messy, but still technically a theocracy. It's just that there isn't much that's still officially France.
Would a king bishop move one square diagonally but not all of them? Or would it move one square horizontally and arbitrarily far diagonally?
I don't know. Oh, there's a new Byzantine revolt. Oh no, it's not. It's a Bulgarian revolt. It just looks like a Byzantine revolt. Well, that's no use. Well, we are continuing to try to turn Jericho into a useful castle. While... Oh, the Knights Templar have established a new holding in the county of Acre. Permission to settle there was granted by the noble Count Arpad Ferenc of Acre. The mighty castle will henceforth be known as Athlith. The infidels should tremble, but I'm going to have to take it off them in order to found an empire. I mean, it's not really a mighty castle yet. You're going to need some serious money to turn that into a mighty castle. So just to confirm, am I allowed to like just go to war with the Knights Hospitaller for this? Yes, I am. Right. You might think there's always a Byzantine revolt, but like they've been doing pretty well at not having revolts lately. And not overthrowing the emperor. It's most infuriating. I mean, Antonio of Nafud is still has positive war score because this guy, Gregorio, is distracting Musa enough that Antonio's keeping hold of these two counties. Duchess of Anthea has inherited a random barony. That's not much fun. Grand Master of the Knights Templar has joined a defensive pact against me. Yes, that might be a problem. Why are you trying to kill a Despoleto? We don't like you killing Despoletos. They're my Despoletos. Okay, you're a Despoleto as well. Maybe we'll forgive you. So he's currently the heir to the Duchy of Baghdad. Why is she killing him? Why is she... plotting to kill Heribert then? I mean, she doesn't seem to be obviously in line for Baghdad. Oh yes, we're still trying to get her duchy, aren't we? But the Duke is still at war as a result of the, I think, only of the two wars by my vassals. I don't think an improvement in siege equipment gets us ever any new buildings. That's not an interesting announcement. Ditto that. Oh, my food has tasted strange lately and I've begun to eat less and less for fear of being poisoned. I don't trust the spy master to find the poisoner. The only one I can rely on is my friend. My friend Abdul Jalil. Oh! I think he was a thief we nabbed in some... bazaar somewhere. We should be trying to convert him to Christianity, really. It will make life a little bit simpler. Yes, yes, let us... Let me have my friend find the poisoner and put a stop to this. Meanwhile, I'm wondering what we can do with Abdul Jalil. Like, can we get him converted to Christianity? Can we make sure he comes out with some good traits? Actually, that might turn him into a pretty decent commander anyway. But if we have Osric train him, there's actually a good chance he'll. That's cruel, not zealous, isn't it? That he'll convert to Catholicism as well. Or we could go for Radboat, who is so he's 62873. Versus Osric 6171189. Osric is, I think, more balanced. Right, Abdul Jalil is now being taught by Osric of the ludicrous moustache. Who I think will be better at turning him into a useful something or other while we search for whoever's trying to poison me. You just sit tight down there and you might win this war. Right, back to souping up Jericho. Who's Africa at war with now? Oh, someone's attacking you. Don't think that's going to go well. To be completely sure the food was or was not poisoned, Abdul Jalil required certain expensive equipment. I was the one to pay for it. Although the food tastes strange, I do not feel any different than before. The question is, if this is really necessary, do I really want to know? I can be disappointed in Abdul Jalil, or I can pay 60 and we'll see what happens. We'll pay him 60 gold and we'll see what happens. Oh, tech points from Fustat. Probably not very useful. You only get 50. Okay, we can have almost any. With the expensive equipment acquired, Abdul Jalil did a thorough examination and it did not take long before he presented me with the result. The cook had used rancid meat in the stew and tried covering up the taste with a lot of spices, some poisonous unless used in moderation. Satisfied with the result, I imprisoned the cook without pardon. Now we will need to find a new cook. Gain 1 intrigue. Someone told me I'm arbitrary and I wish to change that. Good for me, right? Yes, excellent. I'm no longer arbitrary, which is good. People dislike arbitrary rulers. Have a new Duke of Palmyra, Duke Fasilidas of Palmyra. Right, is Duke Eric's opinion of me now ludicrously high? It's not ludicrous, but we can probably stop trying to make it better. You should probably actually go and deal with Alarico de Pravia in Ascalon, who does have quite a low opinion of me. Oh dear, the Najidids are now taking back control of that territory, so I fear that that war is going to end badly for us as well. And the new Count of Al-Mafraq, who really dislikes us. And we do have the wrong religion. Because he's a child, we can't even insist that he convert. So can we actually see this happening? Because I usually don't. 429, 548, 846, 598. Yes, that got us 50 economic points. Yeah, I don't think. What are you? My Chancellor is not doing anything. That's odd. I thought I sent him there to improve diplomatic relations. Emir Araf of the Inamid Emirate has accepted a peace offer. Duchess Garafalia of Oman 1, being apparently the only person here who can win a war. And so that entire... No, it's not. There's a damn Byzantine Empire bit there. So many irritating little bits of the Byzantine Empire kicking around. So that is a revolt, but it's a revolt at a lower level and so not a useful one for our purposes. Still got 2 years before we can go to war with the empire itself, unless they manage to get a new emperor. Right, we're improving the Duke of Ascalon's opinion of us. Meanwhile, the Najidids are busy taking back their territory. In due course, our truce with the Najidids at our level will expire. At which point we can go and stomp all over them. Duchess Mencia keeps swiping people's titles. Duke Antonio's lost his holy war. Well, I feel that Duke Gregorio is not going to keep be able to keep his one going for very much longer. Now that Musa will be turning his attention in that direction. Nuno asks, why did you let that peasant off accused from poaching? I mean, strictly he's already just, and he's already kind. So, like, it doesn't really matter if he gets any of them, but we obviously don't want him to become arbitrary, so... Yeah, I fear that Duke Gregorios, Gregorio, sorry, you are about to be the latest person to lose a... What? Excuse me. Why is Acre now part of Hungary? That's not acceptable. So there appears to be a Cappadocian revolt. I'm going to have to go to war with Hungary. I mean, it shouldn't be very hard. But, like, it's a bit silly. So, yes. Do I do that now? Do I... I don't really want to start a war at this time of night. I really want to actually be winding up. I'm just kind of hoping that the last one of my holy wars against the Najidids will turn, well, apparently against me. And then I can, yes, stay kind and just. Actually, let's set my I can probably take that one fairly soon, can't we? Let's set him sowing dissent there, just in case we can break that county off again. I think actually another reason I don't want to start a war is the moment my truce with the Byzantine Empire expires, I want to start a war with them, because that claim dies with answer. So ideally we want that war started and finished before answer dies. Araignée di Spoleto is now known as the Messi. That's nice. Duke Morcar has arrested an armed man with a ragged armour and a spotty horse. He says the man claims to be a hedge knight, but clearly does not believe the statement. So do we agree and get 25 prestige from me and Morcar, or annoy Morcar by overruling his decision, but get 10 piety? I think we'll accept the loss of piety and not annoy Morcar. Oh dear, I've become infirm. She's terrible for everything. You've managed to imprison a sheikh. Well done. Right, you've converted Kirkuk. Excellent. Right, how's that war going now? 55% in favour of Musa. It's still going to take a little while. Not sure I have the patience to wait for that. I mean, the latest upgrades to Samara and Kirkuk will be done soon. What, is Jericho not building anything? Jericho should always be building things. Is there anything left to build in Samara? No, there is not. How's your war score doing? 95% in favour of Musa. No, I haven't started a war at this time of night. I'm waiting for wars to finish. I mean, if we reach the point where my truce with the Byzantine Empire ends without the Holy Wars finishing, then I will pause there and save, because I don't want to start a war with the Byzantine Empire at this time of night. Being infirm, I'm a little worried that that Ansa may not survive long enough to go to war with the Byzantine Empire again, which will be a pity because she has a personal claim on the 57 days left and counting on the Duchy of Mosul. %98 in favour of Musa the Drunkard. 28 days of my truce left. 100%. That's not the correct person to sow dissent in thing, what's name of. Go on, end the war. Oh. He's got a 100% war score. So what's going on with my commanders then? I've got adequate siege leaders and adequate organisers. I mean, to be fair, King Aras is a pretty decent commander. I think we may as well appoint him as a commander. And while we're there, make sure he becomes Catholic. I want to unpause for long enough for this war to end. Oh, that was the wrong truce expiring. That was not the truce that's of any use to me. I've still got another 6 months to survive. Are you actually... That's nice, dear. Oh, the Count of Najran, my spy master, has died, looks like. I'm going to need a new spy master. Well, Edgefrith from Cornwall is still available. Right, and I can critically usurp not the Sultanate of Iraq, that would be a bit too big. I can usurp the Emirate of Basra and grant it to the woman I wanted to give it to. So Countess Agatha can now become Duchess of Basra. Right, that's better. She still could do with like sorting out her domain limit, but she should probably set up a count or two. Because the Bahrainian Holy War was also lost by my Duke. I'm not going, though, to usurp the Sultanate of Iraq. or the kingdoms of Arabia, Yemen or Syria. So I think that was the main thing I was waiting for. Let me get that spy master in. And get him doing something. Oh, we needed Keeper of the Tomes. Well, let's stick the Duke of Mudar in so that he'll at least have a positive opinion of me. I think the Prince Archbishop of Hijaz should be my cupbearer. Baldwin of Antioch should be my Master of the Hunt. Edfrith Kernow should be my spy master. He may have a claim on the Duchy of Cornwall, but I'm not going to try to do anything about that. And he should go over and study technology in Fustat, as is traditional. It looks like the independent Duchy of Cappadocia has fallen apart rather. It no longer has that little bit over there. But Byzantine Empire is still being irritatingly stable, and we can't go to war with it right now. But I don't think I want to sit around waiting for the end of the Byzantine Empire. I think, or rather for the end of my truce with the Byzantine Empire, because I think I've done most of the immediately needed things. The keeping Kirkuk will not complete for ages. Militia training ground in Jericho will be done soon, but Jericho will be building things all the time anyway. And we're still working on restoring the underground city in Petra. Damages are 22% repaired. We are still upgrading Gethsemane to stage 4. It's 28% done. We can't build anything else there until it reaches 28% done, but it is pretty well equipped anyway. The levy in Mirabel is getting quite stupidly large. We can raise 3,500 troops from Mirabel, 3,500 troops from Ramallah, and admittedly only 848 troops for now from Jericho. But that does mean that just in this one county from my own castles I can raise about 7,500 troops, and that's going to go up as we continue building buildings in Jericho. And like the other bits of my domain are also reasonably well equipped with people, though the technology isn't as good there. It's kind of a pity I don't control all the castles in these places. So, next session. First, we wait until the Byzantine Empire truce expires, or the Byzantine Empire gets a new emperor, or the Byzantine Empire gets a revolt that incorporates the Duchy of Mosul, and we go to war. And if Answer has survived that long, we go to war for Mosul. We only really need to start that war. If Answer dies once the war is started, then Elbira will inherit the claim. Because starting the war counts as pressing it and means that the claim becomes inheritable. So that basically means Answer needs to survive until the 20th of June 1233. Her various other truces are not of much relevance, though she will eventually want to go to war with Musa in order to get these two counties, which her vassals were completely incapable of getting for themselves. She will want to go to war with Hungary for this county, which Hungary has swiped by means I don't quite understand. We aren't meant to be able to inherit things out of the kingdom, so I don't quite know how. I mean, I suppose we can look at the title history. No, not that title history. So yeah, apparently he inherited it, but he's not meant to be able to inherit it. Like, we have rules against inheriting things out of the kingdom. I'm pretty sure they're still in force. Don't think someone randomly reduced Crown Authority while I wasn't looking. No, look, high Crown Authority. You have to go down to medium before things can pass out of the realm. So yes, I don't quite know what's going on there, but we'll probably have to go to war with Hungary to fix it. So I'm trying to sow some dissent in the hope that maybe the Duke of Pest will end up annoyed with his liege with the King of Hungary to the extent that he declares independence, and that will make it easier to squish him. But I doubt that'll work. So it probably means we're going to have to send an army all the way over into Hungary in order to... maybe I can get an alliance with Wallachia. She won't form it directly because she's not that close a relative of mine, sadly. She does have a spectacular number of children and hence grandchildren, though. Though I haven't got anyone I can conveniently offer to her to get a non-aggression pact. And like, we keep finding we can't get alliances anyway because people have political concerns about allying with Jerusalem. So yes, we'll probably just have to go to war with Hungary on our own. It won't be hard. Unless they're a member of the Defensive Pact, which they're not. I mean, our threat is fairly low now, yeah, down to 37%. But we have to go to war with the Byzantine Empire. That's actually required. How strong is the Byzantine Empire right now, anyway? Ooh, fairly. I mean, not as strong as Jerusalem, but getting close. So, yes, we will come back and do that next time. Africa still has some territory up in the north of Scotland. England is slowly regaining England from Scotland again. Ireland still isn't Ireland. Norway still mostly only exists in Iceland. The Holy Roman Empire is creeping slowly north. and Africa is gradually expanding, but not very quickly. So I wonder if the thing that lost us acre also caused that problem there, because Africa also had high Crown authority. So anyway, as Claire says, go to sleep. Yes. Good night. We will be back on Friday.